Good afternoon, everyone. We are now tuned into Making It Different. So, this is a show created to inspire and motivate the youth of today. My name is Erika Mison, and I am your host and online friend. So, last Saturday, I interviewed a young organization. Okay, they're not really that young. They started around 5 years ago, but the people behind it, they're really young. The youngest I interviewed, if I remember correctly, she was 17. She is 17 years old. So it started out with two sisters, with an idea, with an advocacy, and they started it when one was 13 and the other one was 15. So now it's going really well. They've done a lot of programs and projects, and they're currently very, very active. And can I just say, it's really inspiring and it warms my heart to see a younger generation do something like this, put up their own organization because they believe in their advocacy and they believe that they themselves could make a change in the society, could make a difference in the society. So if you want to watch that episode, it's on the show's Facebook page. It's also on our YouTube channel and on our website. So you can check that out after this episode. So for this week's episode, I invited an initiative. We're going towards the artsy side now. They're called the Lockdown Cinema Club. Now, to know more what they do and what they've been doing, I've invited Mackie Galvez and Patricia Sumagui to talk about the Lockdown Cinema Club. So, can I call on Mackie and Patricia? Hi, Mackie.
Hello.
Hi, Patricia.
Hello.
How are you?
Hi, Erica. Hello. We're okay.
That's good. Okay, so um, hey, let's start. What is Lockdown Cinema Club? Maybe you could give like a brief background on it.
Go,
Sino
Mackie.
ba ako? Lockdown Cinema Club is an online initiative that's geared towards showing films for free on different streaming platforms, Facebook, YouTube, Vimeo. And in turn, it's we asked that people at the time when it was active for people to donate and give money to help our uh, film workers who are no work, no pay. So uh, we operated primarily over Facebook. Worked with a bunch of volunteers like Pat and myself, and other industry professionals. So we were comprised of directors, producers, assistant directors, production designers, cinematographers, editors. So we banded together at the beginning of the pandemic to form an initiative to help our displaced film workers.
Okay, so when did this initiative start? Did it start during ECQ ba or was it pre-COVID pa?
ECQ na. I think it was already a week after mag-lockdown.
Okay.
And then originally yung founder namin si Carl Chavez, he was actually, I think nag-start na siyang mag-curate ng films, ng short films.
Okay.
And to ask for donations, pero the first volume was supposedly for as in help in general to people. Wala pang particular like the film industry workers. Pero I think it started sa comment section ng Facebook niya. Assistant director na kasama din namin, isa din namin sa founder si Camila Ragona and then si Alan Bergang, isang producer din. I think they reached out to Carl. And then doon na nag-start, they started calling us. Ako, Mackie, and then si Ilsa, Malsi, Seth Suarez, and then Mau Fadul. We actually wanted kasi na per department merong representative para each particular department may mag-vouch for the workers. Kasi of course, ako personally, even if I'm a producer, I wouldn't know all the names or who sino ba yung lahat ng mga to? So we really needed people to actually vouch for yung mga tao din nila, kasama nila, workers na kasama namin. Kasi we don't work naman all the time with the same projects. Yun, then yun na yun. Umabot kami lang hanggang volume 6. Nung una, as in we wanted na, we started actually na thinking 50 people lang yung tutulungan. And then we were overwhelmed kasi we were listing down the names. We got to a point na, tigta 10 lang tayo, 10 per department. Tapos, syempre, ang bilis ng balita eh. Once you have itong number of people na to, I'm sure na mag-spread out siya fast. So parang, umabot namin sa point na, sige, let's just get all their names and then let's figure it out. Magdasal na lang tayo na may mag-donate. Eventually, in fairness naman, I think, sobrang daming bukas palad na who actually reached out. Actually, kahit taga-ibang bansa, foreigners, it's not really Filipinos alone. Yeah, as in ang daming nag-donate from other countries na who saw the films also, the short films.
Okay. Nice. That's very nice to hear. Yun nga, I watched also an interview. That's how I got to know you guys, and I was like, okay, this is something new, especially since given the ECQ. But we'll get to that later. Speaking of films, maybe we could talk more naman on that. So do you have mga sample films, or what have you been showing during ECQ?
Yeah, so we have volumes nga. So kaya siya release in volumes kasi as the lockdown kept on extending, people started to offer their films in waves. So kino-collect nung programming committee namin. So aside from the volumes, because actually sobrang busy namin ni Pat, I actually haven't seen any of the stuff in Lockdown Cinema Club kasi medyo naging full-time work yung donation drive. So I think we showed there some posters of the other live events that we had. Like we had a live script reading ng ano yung kay Tonet, Pat?
That thing called Tadhana.
Yeah, that thing called Tadhana. So those were
Angelica and
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, JM, and then si Tonet, who's a friend of in the industry as well. Since siya yung writer and director, siya naman yung nagbasa ng script screen directions. So nag-evolve yung programming. So it used to just be that, and then nag-slow down of donations kasi by week 5, week 6, wala nang pumapasok na donations because people were starting to hold on to their money. And then those that gave could only give so much kasi they had to watch out for themselves as well. So we started holding different events. So yun yung isa, live script reading ng that thing called Tadhana. Our biggest achievement is actually partnering with ABS-CBN.
Yeah.
That took time kasi we're relatively young sa industry. Hindi rin kami ganun kakilala ng ABS. But as the initiative gained traction, we were able to partner with them. We actually staged a long event called Gabi ng Himala. So we had actor directors reenact scenes from the movie.
Okay. Nawala ba? Is it just me or medyo
Anyway.
Okay, yan. So, Gabi ng Himala, right?
Gabi ng Himala. Actually, nasa ano pa siya? Nasa online pa siya. I think mahanap niyo pa siya.
Okay.
Nakaka-collaborate kami with directors and then some actors na willing gawin to recreate some scenes.
Okay.
Kasi fun siya gawin kasi sa Zoom lang namin. I don't know if I'm allowed to do it, pero doon namin sila nire-record. Kasi we got to a point na si Inang of Olivia Labasan, she was asking Angelica Panganiban, meron ka bang ano dyan? What's this? Ano yung tinutungtungan, Mackie?
She was asking for film equipment.
Inang, wala pong ganon. This is very, impromptu lang. Ganyan.